50-day lows. Are they good for swing trading stocks or are they a waste of time? Let's dive in and find out. So before we start, this is not investment advice. Do your own research, etc., etc. And past performance is no guarantee of future performance. So I'll briefly mention my trading strategy. I'll buy a stock at a 50-day low. I'll hold it for a fixed profit and I don't use stop losses. If there's no profit after 1 year, I will adjust the sell target to the buy price so that we break even. If there's still no profit after 1 year, then I'll sell at whatever price it is. So after 2 years of buying it, if we don't have a profit, I'll just sell it. And once sold, I'll sell the stock and buy something else, and then repeat the process. I should just mention that I don't buy one stock at a time. In my portfolio, I have several holdings, and more the better really, just to diversify and spread the risk around. So does this actually work? So let's check my PineScript backtester. So this is my TradingView PineScript for finding 50-day lows. It's a very simple script. So it just buys a 50-day low and then it sells for a fixed profit. By a lot of trial and research, I'm currently using 5.5% fixed profits. This seems to be about the best for maximizing the CAGR. I'll try and make some more videos about this. So how profitable is this? So I'm looking at the McDonald's stock. And it says that we have a profit factor here of 4.59. So anything really generally over 1 means that we should, in theory, make money. So as you can see, there are a lot. And really the only one that was a loss, I have got a 20% stop loss on this script here. So during COVID, it would have been stopped out here. So I always like to use it with a stop loss when I'm testing, even though I don't tend to use them in real life. So as you can see, it has been fairly profitable, and this is quite a good one. I'll do another one. Let's try Coca-Cola. This is another good stock for swing trading, and here we have a profit factor of 4. I should say that not all stocks are as good as this, but you can see that buying 50-day lows in Coca-Cola has generally been a pretty good strategy. So how do we find stocks at 50-day lows? We can simply use a lot of free scanners available. So the best one that I like for US stocks is called finviz. So let's see, you need to go to finviz.com and then click on the screener. Okay, so you need to click on technical button here. And there's a 50-day low high thing here. And what do we need? New low. So this is a 50-day low here. And you can also filter things on other things. I tend to get rid of all the junk. So I like to click here on fundamentals and let's see. Dividend growth is good. Let's see. 3 years of dividend growth. That will give us some better quality stocks. It's so complicated. You can also click on descriptive here, look for dividend yield. Let's see, positive. Let's say over 2%. That would be good. Index. We could just look at the S&P 500. That could be good. So we haven't found many here, but these are some stocks at 50-day lows. I think you can check here. So if you hover over the ticker, you can see the chart. That one looks good. I just bought this one actually. This is Allstate. This one hasn't been a good stock for me, but it is again at 50-day low. And Texas Instruments, if you like tech stocks, that's currently at 50-day low. So this is a really good screener, and as I've just shown, it is best to put in some filters, otherwise you'll be overwhelmed with them. Another thing I do, I think you click on here. Yeah, if you click on here, you can sort them by market cap. So the size, if there's on, that's a good one for swing trading. So I tend to do this. And bear in mind that this only updates 15 minutes after the US market opens. So this isn't for real-time data, but it is a nice free screener. You can actually bookmark this link. So once you've set up your screen to get some really good quality stocks, then you can just bookmark it. I'll also recommend that if the market itself has a huge down day, then you definitely want to look at this, because sometimes you find some really good stocks here at 50-day lows. Just recently, Coca-Cola appeared on the list. So where else can we find stocks at 50-day lows? You could try btfdbot.com. This is my own site. It's currently under construction and I only have the highest quality stocks listed on there. So I'm still building this website out, but you can see that we already have a few 50-day low signals. That was a few days ago. At the moment, I've just got the Dividend Kings on there and also quite a few ETFs. So this one's interesting, US insurance companies. So that's an ETF there. And Turkey, there's a country ETF. So where else can we find 50-day lows? My preferred stock scanner is TradingView. So TradingView is amazing because you can set up free scans for stocks in pretty much any country and stock exchange. So here's my one for finding 52-week lows. Unfortunately, there isn't a scan for 50-day lows here. Or if there is, then I haven't figured out how to use it. There is a new low thing, so you can go here and look for low and new low. And you can look for 1 month low, a 3 month low, 6 months, or a 52-week low. But sadly, they don't have 50-day lows on here. So that's a real shame. So to summarize, there aren't actually that many places where you can find 50-day lows, or certainly for free. So the finviz one is about the best, but it really only covers US stocks. So now let's look at my initial results of trading 50-day lows. So these are the results from my initial trades from October to December 2024. And you can see that the 50-day lows, I made a number of trades and I have a really high profitable rate here. I think mostly because I started buying them in December and the market was quite turbulent, very volatile then. So the trades did pretty well there. And this is all trades to date. I've made about 1,100 trades now, although they're not all using these strategies. I do use quite a few other strategies as well. But the 50-day lows are looking pretty good. And they do seem to be slightly better than the 52-week lows. Incidentally, these results here don't include the losses because I'm generally holding stocks for 2 years. I just don't have enough data yet, but these results do look pretty good. Let's look at some example trades I've done. So the first one is CBiz. This is a US stock. So I bought a 50-day low here. It was about just over $54, and then I sold it about 56 something dollars, so I made about 5-6% profit here, and that was quite a nice little swing trade. And you see it only took 3 days, so the CAGR on that was quite impressive. This is another one. This is a UK REIT called Tritax Big Box, or B-Box. So I bought it around here. It's quite volatile, but somewhere on this candle here. And you see we went down quite a bit, but I was hodling on for dear life and it managed to recover and I sold out for profit here. So this strategy also works pretty well on ETFs. So I bought the US insurance ETF somewhere around here, and a few days later, there's probably a couple of weeks, I sold up here for a good profit. So let's look at some 50-day lows I bought that weren't quite so successful. And this one is called Voya Financial. So I bought after a big drop here. And ironically, it did rebound. So I could have made, I think, around 5% profit here. But unfortunately, I set the profit target, I think, to 10%, which we still haven't quite met. I think it's ironically got to about 9.7% or something, so just missed my profit target. Note that I've also been hodling like mad down here, so I didn't sell during the April carnage, so that would have hit almost everybody's stop losses, but I just kept holding here. And I think it's up 1 or 2%, so I think probably it will fill that gap eventually and I will exit for profit. So I'm hodling this one and I think it will return profitable. I've had quite a few good dividends from it, so I think I've had about 3% in dividends so far. So it's not a total disaster, this one. Here's another one that hasn't quite worked out. I think the price I bought here and the price is about here, so there's a slim about 0.5% or 1% profit so far. Again, I didn't sell when it really plunged in April, so it did go down 13%, so that would have made most people get stopped out, but I just hodled, and there's a kind of bit of a messy but nice double bottom there, I guess. This is another stock where I probably, if I'd have set a less ambitious profit target, I think I was looking for 10% originally, but I probably would have got about up to about 7.5%. Yeah, what was it? Oh, 5% I would have got here, nearly 6%. So if I'd have looked for my standard 5.5%, I probably got it here, and that would have taken about 3 months. So not the best swing trade I'll ever do, but probably would have got a bit of dividends as well. And this is one disaster. I've not had too many like this. I've mostly been increasing stock quality. So this one I bought here, and then it went down and down and down and down, but it does seem to be bottoming. I'm confident this one will recover, but it's deeply underwater at the moment. As I said, I don't have too many like this from the 50-day lows. So what improvements could I make? Definitely focusing on stock quality. That's going to be a good way to increase the profitable rates and cut out stocks like this. Another thing that makes a big difference is the level of the market itself. So this is my trading diary, and you'll notice during April, these are April's trades here. I had a huge run. Green, incidentally, is a successful trade for a profit. So there's really only that's May. So there's only really 2 or 3. I think it's 3 that didn't work. So during April 2025's tariff carnage, I actually achieved over 90% profitability in my trades. And the only disappointment, I was too scared to buy even more. Incidentally, on the finviz 50-day lows screener, sometimes you'll find particular stocks at 50-day lows. They'll all be in a similar market sector. So if that happens, you might want to consider buying the ETF. And I am looking for edges that will improve my trading, as we all are. So I've been researching dividend history to see if stocks with longer dividend histories are more reliable. So far, I haven't really found any useful edge here. And whether the stocks themselves are long-term oversold or overbought, I've not found much of an edge here either. Companies with rising sales ought to be better for swing trading over time, but again, I've not found a huge amount of evidence in my own particular trades yet. And back to the failure, that was Spectrum Brands. That was the one that really didn't work. So I do use fast graphs, and that's an interesting fundamental analysis software which I've subscribed to. It's always useful in swing trading. So as you can see here, this is the stock price. So it is quite low, and what you can immediately see on this is the green is the sales. So the company's had a very patchy history, so definitely in the future, and something I'm currently doing, is that I do a lot more fundamental screening, and I would definitely not really buy a company like this with a really patchy history. So to summarize, 50-day lows, they can be good entry points for the highest quality stocks. So I've been swing trading for a year now, and there's a few stocks that I've never had a losing trade so far. They include Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Unilever. This is a UK stock. So you can see this on my btfdbot website. So if you go to any stock and then click on 50-day low, you'll see them plotted on the chart. So we start in 2018 and currently up to 2025. So the green triangles mean that these ones were profitable and they returned 5%. So let's see, returning 10%, almost all of them worked. The current ones are kind of a work in progress, so at some point they'll probably be profitable. So you notice that if you looked for 20%, then you didn't often get it. So with swing trading, it's better to look for a smaller profit target because it's much more likely to be achieved. So this is Pepsi Cola, and for 50-day lows, it's also been pretty reliable. There's only one. This would have broken even, the yellow one, And there's 2 red ones here, but the stock, I'm hopeful it will probably rebound, so I think these might just about be profitable. So my YouTube channel and this strategy are still under development. I definitely need more research to find some edges. I have some potential ones, but I'm still looking. So that was a quick overview of 50-day lows. Do you use them? Do you find them useful? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.